The arrival. In the deep, uncharted realms of space, far beyond the reach of human knowledge, there existed a star system that shone with an otherworldly brilliance. This was the home of the Xylorans, an ancient and technologically advanced alien civilization. For centuries, they had explored the universe, seeking new challenges to test their skills. Now, their eyes were set on Earth, a planet they had observed from afar, with creatures that fascinated them due to their unique resilience and spirit. One fateful evening, as the people of Earth went about their daily lives, an unusual event disrupted the tranquility of the night sky. A massive spaceship, larger than any man-made structure, appeared in orbit. It was like nothing humanity had ever seen before. Its metallic surface glistened with a strange, emerald light, and it seemed to hum with a soft, rhythmic pulse, as if it were alive. Panic quickly spread across the globe as this enormous craft began its descent through the atmosphere. Military forces around the world were put on high alert. Fighter jets scrambled into the sky, following the alien craft as it slowly made its way toward Earth. But the spaceship did not attack or show any signs of hostility. Instead, it descended gently into an open field in the countryside, away from any major cities, as if it had chosen its landing site with care. Thousands of people flocked to the location, eager to catch a glimpse of the mysterious visitors, while news channels broadcasted the event lived to billions of viewers worldwide. As the massive ship settled onto the ground, a collective hush fell over the crowd. The hum of the spacecraft grew louder, then stopped abruptly. A hatch on the side of the ship opened, and a long ramp extended to the ground with a mechanical hiss. The air was thick with anticipation as the first alien figure emerged. The Xylorans were unlike anything humans had imagined. Standing nearly 8 feet tall, their bodies were sleek and graceful, covered in a skin that shimmered like polished silver. Their eyes were large, glowing a soft shade of blue, and seemed to pierce through everything they looked at. They had no visible mouths, and instead of speaking, they communicated telepathically. Their leader, Zarnik, stood at the front, his presence commanding and imposing. As the aliens stepped onto the Earth for the first time, a group of diplomats, scientists, and military personnel cautiously approached them. There was an uneasy silence as the two groups stood face to face, representing their respective worlds. Finally, Zarnik raised one of his elongated arms and activated a device on his wrist. A gentle hum filled the air, and suddenly, his thoughts were translated into spoken words, clear and crisp for all to hear. "People of Earth," Zarnik began, his voice calm yet powerful, "we come in peace. We are the Xylorans, travelers from a distant galaxy. We have observed your species for many years and have been fascinated by your spirit, resilience, and unique abilities. We have no intention of harming your world. Instead, we have come to propose a challenge, a contest to test your strength, intelligence, and unity." The crowd was stunned. This was not the aggressive invasion they had feared, but rather an unexpected proposal. The human officials were taken aback, unsure of how to respond. Zarnik continued, sensing their hesitation. "We challenge your greatest warriors to a match in your most celebrated sport, football," he declared, his glowing eyes scanning the crowd. "If your team can defeat ours, we will share our advanced technology with you, technology that can end hunger, cure diseases, and solve many of your world's problems. But if we win, you must allow us to establish a colony on your planet." The shock of this declaration rippled through the gathered crowd and the millions watching live broadcasts across the globe. The Xylorans had come not as conquerors but as competitors, seeking to test their skills in a game that was beloved by billions on Earth. But why football, of all things? It seemed almost absurd. Yet, there was no denying the sincerity in Zarnik's offer. World leaders quickly convened emergency meetings, debating the risks and rewards of accepting such a challenge. Some were suspicious, wondering if this was a trick, a way for the aliens to gauge humanity's weaknesses before launching a full-scale invasion. Others saw it as a unique opportunity. If the aliens were true to their word, the benefits of winning could transform human civilization forever. After hours of intense discussion, the decision was made. Humanity would accept the Xylorans' challenge. This was not just a game, it was a matter of global pride and survival. The stakes could not be higher. A formal announcement was made, and the search for the best football players on Earth began. The world's top athletes were summoned, chosen for their exceptional skills, speed, and teamwork. These were the players who would form Earth's united football team, aptly named Earth United. As the news spread, the world was gripped with a mix of excitement and anxiety. The stadium where the match would take place was prepared to host the event of the century. People everywhere debated endlessly. Could humans, with their limited abilities compared to the Xylorans, truly stand a chance? Yet, amidst the doubts, there was a spark of hope. After all, football was not just a game of physical prowess but also of strategy, creativity, and heart, qualities that humans excelled in. The players who were selected for Earth United came from diverse backgrounds, each representing the best their countries had to offer. There was Javier, a brilliant striker from Brazil known for his lightning speed and pinpoint accuracy, Zara, a fierce defender from Nigeria with an unbreakable spirit, and Hiroshi, a Japanese midfielder with a genius for strategy. Leading them was coach Alex Martinez, a retired football legend whose name was synonymous with victory. Martinez was known for his unconventional tactics and ability to inspire his team to overcome impossible odds. As the team gathered for their first meeting, Coach Martinez addressed them with a fiery speech. "This isn't just about winning a game," he told them, his voice full of passion. "This is about showing those aliens what humanity is made of. We may not have their technology or their strength, but we have something they'll never understand: heart, determination, and the will to fight for our planet. We're not just playing for ourselves, but for everyone watching us. Let's give them a reason to believe." The players were pumped up, their eyes filled with determination. They knew they were facing an opponent unlike any other, but they were ready to give it their all. With only a month to prepare, every day counted. Training sessions were intense, pushing the players to their physical and mental limits. But they were driven by the knowledge that the fate of their world rested on their shoulders. As the days passed, excitement built up around the globe. Social media was abuzz with hashtags like #EarthVsXylorans and #FootballForTheFuture. The world was united like never before, not in war, but in anticipation of a match that would decide the future of humanity. Every news channel, newspaper, and radio station had only one topic: the upcoming intergalactic football match. Meanwhile, the Xylorans watched from their ship, confident in their superiority. They had never faced defeat in any challenge they had taken on across the galaxies. But little did they know, Earth's greatest strength lay not in individual skills but in the indomitable human spirit. And so, as the sun set on the eve of the match, the world held its breath, waiting for what could be either its greatest victory or its most humbling defeat. The training begins. The decision to accept the Xylorans' challenge had been made, and now the countdown to the most important football match in human history had begun. With just 1 month to prepare, Earth United, the hastily assembled team of the world's best football players, faced an uphill battle. They had been given the impossible task of defeating a team of aliens with superior strength, speed, and telepathic coordination. But there was no turning back. The fate of the entire planet rested on their shoulders. Coach Alex Martinez knew the enormity of the task before him. He was a man who had seen it all on the football field: championships won in the last minute, underdogs overcoming unbeatable odds, and teams rallying together in the face of adversity. But this challenge was unlike anything he had ever faced. He had only 30 days to turn a group of individual stars into a cohesive unit capable of taking on a team that wasn't even human. As the team gathered for their first practice at a state-of-the-art training facility, the atmosphere was tense. The players were a mix of excitement, nerves, and uncertainty. They had all flown in from different parts of the world: Javier from Brazil, Zara from Nigeria, Hiroshi from Japan, Liam from England, and others from every corner of the globe. They were the best of the best, each a superstar in their own right, but none of them had ever played with one another before. Coach Martinez stood before them, his eyes scanning the room. "I know what you're all thinking," he began, his voice steady and calm. "You're wondering if we can actually win this. You're wondering if a bunch of humans, no matter how talented, can beat a team of aliens who can move faster than we can blink. But let me tell you something, football isn't just about speed or strength. It's about heart, it's about strategy, and it's about believing that no matter what the odds are, you can find a way to win." The players nodded, some more confident than others. Martinez had a way of inspiring his team, of making them believe that they could achieve the impossible. He was known for his unconventional methods, and this time would be no different. The first few days of training were focused on assessing each player's strengths and weaknesses. Martinez needed to understand what he was working with. Javier was a phenomenal striker, known for his powerful shots and incredible accuracy. Zara was a rock-solid defender, fearless in the face of any opponent. Hiroshi had a mind like a chess master, able to see plays unfolding several moves ahead. But there were weaknesses too. Javier was known to be a bit of a solo player. Zara sometimes let her temper get the best of her, and Hiroshi was not as physically strong as some of the other players. Martinez knew that to win against the Xylorans, they would have to be more than just a collection of talented individuals. They would need to become a true team, one that could anticipate each other's moves, cover for each other's mistakes, and play with a level of cohesion that could rival the Xylorans' telepathic communication. One of the biggest challenges was dealing with the Xylorans' unique abilities. The aliens were not just fast, they were capable of making sharp, impossible turns at high speeds, thanks to their flexible, rubber-like muscles. They could jump twice as high as any human player, and their telepathic connection meant they could pass the ball without even looking. To counter this, Martinez devised a plan to focus on agility and adaptability. He pushed the team through grueling drills that emphasized quick changes in direction, sudden bursts of speed, and unpredictable playmaking. But football wasn't just about physical skills. Martinez knew that the mental game was just as important. The Xylorans might have their telepathy, but humans had creativity and intuition. So, he introduced a series of psychological exercises designed to sharpen the players' instincts. They practiced in dim lighting, with flashing strobe effects, and even blindfolded at times to improve their spatial awareness and reaction times. As the training progressed, tensions began to rise. Not everyone was used to Martinez's demanding style. Javier, who was used to being the star of the show, struggled with the idea of sharing the spotlight. Zara's fiery temper flared up when she felt she wasn't being used effectively. Hiroshi, normally calm and composed, was visibly frustrated when he couldn't keep up with the more physically demanding drills. There were arguments, heated words, and even a few players who threatened to walk away. But Martinez was ready for this. He knew that before they could become a team, they would need to confront their egos and insecurities. He called a meeting, sitting the players down in a circle on the grass under the warm afternoon sun. "You're all here because you're the best at what you do," he told them. "But if we're going to win, you're going to have to put aside your pride and work together. I don't need superstars. I need a team." The turning point came during a practice match that Martinez had arranged against an elite team of local professionals. It was supposed to be an easy win for Earth United, but the match quickly turned into a disaster. The team played like strangers, each trying to show off their skills rather than working together. They lost badly, and Martinez let the defeat sink in without saying a word. Afterward, the players gathered in the locker room, dejected and exhausted. It was Javier who finally broke the silence. "I'm tired of losing," he muttered. "We need to stop thinking about ourselves and start thinking about the team." Zara nodded in agreement, and slowly, the rest of the team came around. They realized that if they didn't start playing as one, they had no chance against the Xylorans. From that day on, something changed. The players began to trust each other, to communicate better, and to support one another both on and off the field. Javier started passing more, Zara became a leader in defense, and Hiroshi's strategies became the backbone of their gameplay. They were finally becoming a team, not just a group of individuals. Meanwhile, the Xylorans were also preparing. From the windows of their massive spaceship, they observed the human team's progress. Zarnik, their captain, was intrigued. He had underestimated the humans before, but now he saw that they were adapting, evolving. Still, he remained confident. The Xylorans had faced countless challenges across the galaxy, and they had never lost. The final week of training arrived, and Earth United was starting to look like a team that could pull off the impossible. They practiced set pieces, perfected their formations, and even held practice matches against teams playing in Xyloran-like styles to simulate the upcoming game. Every player was giving their all, pushing themselves to the brink of exhaustion, driven by the knowledge that this was more than just a game. As the final day of practice came to an end, Coach Martinez gathered his team for one last pep talk. "Tomorrow, we face an opponent that everyone says we can't beat," he told them. "But I've seen something in each of you that those aliens will never understand. You have heart, you have passion, and most importantly, you have each other. No matter what happens tomorrow, play for each other, play for humanity, and give them a reason to believe." The team erupted into cheers, their spirits high. They were ready, they were united, and as the sun set on their final day of preparation, the world watched and waited, hoping that Earth United could defy the odds and bring home a victory against the stars. The day of the match. The sun rose over London, casting a golden glow over the city as it prepared for the most anticipated event in history. Today was the day the world had been waiting for, the day Earth United would face the Xylorans in a match that would determine the future of humanity. The air was electric with excitement and anxiety as people from all corners of the globe tuned in to watch the match, either from the packed stadium or on screens at home, in bars, and in public squares. The game was set to take place at Wembley Stadium, which had been transformed into a venue unlike any other. Security was tight, with military personnel stationed around the perimeter, monitoring the skies and the ground for any signs of alien trickery. Drones buzzed overhead, capturing every angle for the billions watching live broadcasts. The stadium itself was a sea of color, filled with fans waving flags, holding banners, and chanting in unison. It was a rare sight, people of every nation, race, and background united in hope and support for Earth United. As the countdown to kickoff ticked away, the Earth United players arrived at the stadium, their expressions a mix of steely determination and nervous energy. They had trained harder than they ever thought possible, and now, the moment of truth had arrived. Coach Alex Martinez led them into the locker room, where the final preparations would take place. The locker room was filled with the sounds of boots clattering, players stretching, and the occasional nervous laugh. Javier was tying his laces, muttering a prayer under his breath. Zara was pacing back and forth, her fists clenched, while Hiroshi sat quietly in a corner, his eyes closed, mentally visualizing every play and move he had studied. Martinez stepped to the front of the room, clapping his hands to get everyone's attention. The room fell silent as he began to speak. "This is it, team. This is what we've been training for, he said, his voice steady and calm. I know you're feeling the pressure. I know you're nervous. But remember why we're here. We're not just playing for ourselves, we're playing for every single person on this planet. They're counting on us to show those aliens what humanity is made of. He paused, looking each player in the eye. The Xylorans may be stronger, faster, and have abilities we can't even comprehend. But we have something they don't. We have heart, we have passion, and we have each other. So go out there and leave everything on that pitch. No regrets, no fear. Play for the love of the game, and play for humanity. The players erupted into cheers, the tension in the room lifting slightly as they pounded fists and clapped each other on the back. It was time. They marched out of the locker room, down the tunnel, and into the bright light of the stadium. The roar of the crowd was deafening, a tidal wave of sound that seemed to shake the very ground beneath their feet. On the other side of the field, the Xyloran team stood, their silver uniforms glistening under the stadium lights. They were an imposing sight, tall, graceful, and eerily calm. The Xylorans moved with a fluidity that seemed almost unnatural, their glowing blue eyes scanning the crowd and their opponents with an air of superiority. Zarnik, their captain, stood at the center, his gaze fixed on Earth united with a look that was both curious and calculating. The referee, a seasoned official chosen for his impartiality, called both teams to the center of the pitch for the coin toss. Zarnik and Javier stepped forward as captains, facing each other for the first time. There was an unspoken challenge in their eyes, a silent promise that neither side would go down without a fight. The coin was tossed, and Earth United won the right to kick off. As the teams took their positions, the crowd fell silent, holding its collective breath. The referee blew the whistle, and the game began. From the very first touch, it was clear that this was no ordinary match. The Xyloran speed was otherworldly. They moved as if they were gliding on air, covering the field in seconds. Within the first 2 minutes, they launched a blistering attack, their passes so fast and precise that the human defenders barely had time to react. A powerful shot from one of the Xylorans rocketed toward the goal, but Earth United's goalkeeper, Liam, made a miraculous save, diving full stretch to his left and deflecting the ball just wide of the post. The crowd erupted in cheers, and Earth United drew strength from their supporters. But the Xylorans were relentless, pressing hard and keeping Earth United pinned in their own half. It was like trying to hold back a tidal wave. Coach Martinez shouted instructions from the sideline, urging his players to stay calm and stick to their game plan. Hiroshi, the team's strategist, began to read the Xylorans' patterns. He noticed that despite their telepathic communication, they were predictable in their movements, always relying on their superior speed and strength to overwhelm their opponents. Hiroshi quickly signaled to his teammates to shift into a defensive formation, focusing on intercepting passes rather than trying to match the Xylorans' speed. The adjustment worked. Earth United began to find their rhythm, stringing together passes and moving up the field with a newfound confidence. Javier, with his blistering pace, managed to break free down the right wing, sending in a perfect cross to Zara, who was waiting just outside the penalty area. Zara struck the ball with all her might, sending it flying toward the top corner of the goal. Time seemed to slow as the ball soared through the air. The Xyloran goalkeeper leapt to stop it, but Zara's shot was too powerful. The ball hit the back of the net, and the stadium erupted into a deafening roar. Earth United had scored the first goal of the match. The players were ecstatic, jumping into each other's arms as the crowd chanted their names. But the Xylorans were not to be outdone. The moment the game restarted, they came back with a vengeance. Zarnik, determined not to let the humans have the upper hand, orchestrated a series of lightning-fast passes that left the Earth United defense scrambling. Within moments, they were inside the penalty box. A flick of Zarnok's foot sent the ball past Liam, leveling the score at 1-1. The game turned into a fierce battle of endurance, strategy, and willpower. The Xylorans continued to rely on their telepathic link and raw athleticism, but Earth United countered with creativity, teamwork, and pure determination. Hiroshi, reading the game like a master tactician, made quick adjustments, directing his teammates with precise commands. Javier, Zara, and the rest of the team gave everything they had, pressing forward whenever they saw an opening, falling back to defend when necessary. The clock was ticking down, with only minutes left in regular time. The score remained tied, and it was clear that the next goal would likely decide the match. The world watched in suspense, the tension so thick it was almost tangible. In a last desperate push, the Xylorans launched an all-out assault. But Earth United was ready. Zara made a crucial tackle, winning the ball and launching a counterattack. She sent a long pass to Javier, who sprinted down the field, dodging two Xyloran defenders. With only the goalkeeper to beat, he struck the ball with all the power and precision he could muster. The stadium fell silent as the ball flew toward the goal. And then, in the blink of an eye, it was over. The ball sailed past the outstretched arms of the Xyloran goalkeeper and into the net. Earth United had done it. They had won. The crowd erupted into pandemonium, people hugging, crying, and celebrating as if the world had been saved, which, in a way, it had. The players of Earth United collapsed to the ground in exhaustion and joy, overwhelmed by what they had just achieved. Humanity had triumphed against the odds. They had shown that no matter how powerful the opponent, the spirit of teamwork, resilience, and heart could overcome anything. And as Zarnik approached Coach Martinez to shake hands, there was a look of respect in his glowing blue eyes. The Xylorans had lost, but they had gained something far more valuable, an understanding of what it meant to be truly human.